Hello and welcome to your own channel. Let's talk business once again. I'm Ravi and let's start talking business. Quick recap. So in Future of Lloyd's Modernization Program, we have total 15 services divided under three main categories: transactional services, full digital adaptation, and additional services. Right now, we are talking about the full digital adaptation services. In this service or in this category, we have total 8 services. And currently we are talking about CDR or core data record. We have covered core data record in our previous video presentation, but I think I should cover it more so that we can understand it inside out, like what is this CDR, what is the purpose, and how we are submitting the CDR to the digital gateway. In this video presentation, I'm going to cover how we are constructing CDR and how we are going to submit the CDR to the digital gateway for further processing. But before that, let's have a quick recap about two important definitions: CDR and digital gateway. Now, CDR is a critical transactional data set that is required at the point of bind to automate 4 important processes: premium validation, claims matching, tax calculation and validation, and regulatory reporting. Now, the digital gateway will receive, ingest, validate, enrich, and store the CDR data, and this will be available for Lloyd's and company market carrier who will use the central digital processing services to process premium and claims. Alright, so these are the two very important definitions we should know. Going forward, the approach of CDR creation and submission can be broadly classified under two main categories: document first and data first. Let's talk about the document first approach. In this approach, the information which is required to construct the CDR is first captured in MRC version 3. Please note that in my previous session, I briefly talked about the MRC version 3. So you can click the info link above to know more about it. In this approach, the data will be first captured in MRC version 3, like the way it is happening currently or right now. Then the data will be extracted by some OCR technology, and once the data or relevant data is extracted from the MRC document, it will get validated multiple times through a functionality called soft call to the digital gateway. Now, the purpose of this soft call is to ensure that the early resolution of the data abnormalities while creating the CDR. The purpose of soft call is to ensure that the construction of CDR is aligned as per the standards. Alright, this service is not storing any data in the digital gateway. Once the CDR is ready, then it will be submitted to digital gateway through APIs. One thing to note here is you can only submit the CDR to the digital gateway through API calls. Alright, and the JSON standard is used to submit the data to the digital gateway. So no matter you are following this route, you are following this route or this route, you have to submit the data, the CDR data, to digital gateway through APIs. Alright. The second approach is called as a data first approach, because in this approach, the focus is to capture the CDR compliant data upfront in the process. We have two variations in this approach, which is largely around the source of data. If you can see the data in case 1, the responsibility of constructing the CDR is on TPPs. TPPs stand for third party placement platform like PPL, Gen 3 or Whitespace. So TPPs can use the software functionality to ensure that the CDR is correct before submitting to the digital gateway for final processing. Along the similar lines, the broker and carrier can submit the data directly to the digital gateway through APIs in Flow 2. Now, the important to note here is that the third-party suppliers who wish to assemble and submit the CDR need to go through an aggregation process. Alright, so they must be aggregated in order to send the data to the digital gateway. Well, that's the end of this presentation. The idea was to let you know that how to construct and submit the CDR to the digital gateway for the final processing. I hope you have learned something good about in this short session. I'll be covering CDR a little bit more in my subsequent presentation. So take care, have a great weekend. Bye bye, and I will see you soon.